Hello and welcome to Rise and Unwind. My name is Dan. We're that show that brings people from across the country to talk to us about things that can lift you up throughout the week and maybe let you unwind on the weekend. On this week's show, we got this.
It's sexy, it's edgy, it's dramatic.
All of that and more right here on Rise and Unwind. As Veterans Day approaches, it's time to think about how we could go beyond just thank you messages and try to make a real impact. From hiring veterans in our businesses to volunteering with support organizations, there are so many ways to make a difference. Ken Fisher, CEO of the Fisher House Foundation, joins us today to talk about how we can all support our veterans and military families, not just on Veterans Day, but every day here on. Welcome to the show, Ken. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Ken, what are some of the key challenges our military community is facing today?
Well, I think chief among them, because there are a few, I think chief among them is that here we are 3 years after our latest deployment. And the issue of post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury, which was the signature wounds of the wars over the last 20 years, are still very prevalent among the veterans community, and it's led to some very, very unpleasant statistics. Over the last 20 years, we lost 7,000 men and women in combat, but we lost 30,100 to suicide. That's 4 times the amount of battlefield casualties. And so what that means is that we need to do a much better job at educating ourselves and each other about the plight of the military and the veteran and the family that's behind them and the issues that they go through. We've done a great job at removing the stigma, but we have not removed it completely. And, it's a challenge is that not every veteran is enrolled in the VA, so it's difficult to track these men and women when they're having issues. But we, on a grassroots level, that's where the community has to come in and play a role. And if we know of somebody who's having difficulty that served, to try and get them to come forward and let them know that there is help available.
Can you tell us about the Fisher House Foundation and what sets it apart in helping veterans and their families?
Well, Fisher House builds comfort homes for families to stay in at no charge for as long as their hospital stay dictates. One of the things that I'm most proud of is that Fisher House for the last 20 consecutive years has gotten an A+ rating from the charity watchdog groups. But what happens inside of Fisher House is what's really spectacular in our view is the families support each other. They'll sit together, they'll eat together, they'll share the joy of the good days and the sorrow of the bad, because not every story has a happy ending. But I think in the end, removing the financial burden and allowing these families to realize that they're not alone, that there's other families going through a very similar circumstance than they are, I think plays a big role in helping the families heal, which is also important, making them better caregivers in the long run.
For those of us that want to give back, what is kind of the best way to bridge the gap between veterans and civilians?
Well, the civilian-military divide has always existed. So again, use Veterans Day as a springboard. What better time to learn about veterans and the issues that they face, as well as their families, than now? There's never been more information available. And so take advantage of that. Educate yourself, because these families have bared burdens and made sacrifices that we'll never understand. There's no commonality of experience because only 1% raised their hand and went to war over the last 20 years. So it's difficult for us to understand what a military and veteran and their family have gone through, but it's significant and it's worth our time to take a little bit of that time and learn about what they have done. And at least goes a long way towards saying thank you, which is nice, but not enough.
Can you share a bit about how the impact of Fisher House has had on military families?
Well, to date, we've helped 500,000 families, and we've saved them $600 million in lodging and travel. We also play a role in the day-to-day aspect of the family when their loved one is in the hospital. We have a program called Hero Miles, where you can donate your unused frequent flyer miles to us, And we in turn can buy tickets for family members to go back and forth because life doesn't stop for these men and women when they're wounded or sick or injured. I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of about the foundation is that we've done this now for 34 years and we have not wavered. It's only made us stronger in our resolve to reach out to these families and take care of them at their most stressful time.
So where can our viewers go to learn more about the Fisher House Foundation and ways that they can get involved?
Website is fisherhouse.org. That's one way to get involved. You can learn about us, what we do, how you can help us. Again, it's a Veterans Day. Take some time, learn about veterans issues and what they face. But the most important thing is get off the sidelines and play a role in these in helping the families and our veterans because they've earned it, they deserve it, and they need it.
Ken Fisher, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thanks so much for having me.
From swap meets to becoming a national retail giant, how does a company grow from the humble beginnings to a major player in the sneaker industry? Well, today, I'm talking with Blanca Gonzalez. She's the first Latina general manager and senior vice president of WSS. She's here to kind of share how the company's commitment to community has shaped this incredible success story. Blanca, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you, Dan. How are you? Great to be with all of you.
I'm doing great. I'm excited about this story. How did you get your start in retail, and where did this all completely begin for you?
Well, I always want to start way back. I started when I was 5, I say. My mom was a seamstress. I love to make clothes. I started in retail when I was young. And then I had an incredible journey. I spent over 20 years at Nike, did a lot of incredible work there. And then I had the honor to, recently, about a year and a half ago, to lead WSS forward. It's such an honor. I was that little girl that shopped at WSS. They were on my account at Nike, and now I get to lead this company forward. So it's really exciting for me.
So your long career at Nike, just before WSS, what was it like to step into the role of a general manager and then the senior vice president of WSS?
And for me, it's a huge responsibility. Like I said, I was that little girl that shopped at WSS. I know how important WSS is for our communities. We're in the heart of the neighborhoods. We bring, the best product, the best sneakers, from Nike, Adidas, Converse, Jordan, and just being able to, lead this organization forward for growth. We're expanding, we're growing. We started our humble beginnings in Los Angeles. Now we're in Texas, and then we're growing in Florida. You guys will get more stores there. So just excited to continue to see the trajectory and the growth for WSS, and being able to lead that forward is very meaningful for me.
And it is the 40th anniversary. Are there any special promotions or collections customers can kind of look forward to this fall?
Yeah, so please come and shop with us. We have some incredible collections with Dickies, Pro Club. We also have an incredible sneaker collection with Adidas. All the young, kids are wearing the campus, so come by the campus with us. And then we also like to celebrate, cultural moments. We have Dia de los Muertos, packs with Puma. And also Adidas. And we're also providing best, deals always for the families. We know how important deals are today. So please come and shop with us and experience all the great collections and deals that we have for all of you.
So where can people go for more about WSS and the 40th anniversary celebration that you guys have going on?
Yes, please come to, of course, our, shopwss.com, online. And then also to get more information, and also just, we have Instagram as well. So come there, see some of the things that we're doing across the market. We're also doing a lot of great activations. So come and join and come celebrate with us the next 40 years.
Blanca Gonzalez, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for the interview, and it's an honor.
Flu season is here. And while many of us think it's just another seasonal illness, the numbers are telling us a completely different story. Last year alone, flu-related illnesses led to thousands of deaths, and many of those affected were young and healthy. And today, we got an expert telling us about why it's a good reason to get the flu vaccine and why it could help you feel better over the next couple of months. Today, we have Dr. Leah Smith, a pharmacist and vaccine educator with GSK. Dr. Smith, thanks for joining me this morning, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Can you start by explaining what the flu is and who out there is probably most at risk?
I'd be happy to. So, very simply, the flu or influenza is a very contagious respiratory illness, and it's caused by flu viruses. Those viruses can infect your nose, your throat, or your lungs. And the flu is spread through tiny little droplets that are made when someone who has the flu, when they cough, when they sneeze, or even when they talk. And because the flu is so contagious, you can actually spread the flu before showing any symptoms. Okay. And while literally anyone can get sick from the flu, and serious complications can happen at any age, really. There are certain groups of people who are at higher risk for developing more serious flu-related complications. And that includes adults who are 65 and older, people who have chronic health conditions like diabetes, asthma, or heart disease, and pregnant women, as well as young children.
Can we get to some misconceptions about the flu vaccine? Because I even have friends that panic about the word vaccine. What are some misconceptions about that?
Yeah, you're not alone. I think one of the most common misconceptions that I hear almost every year is that people think you can get the flu from getting the flu vaccine. And this just isn't true. Available vaccines that you'll get in your arms contain inactivated viruses, which means that they're no longer infectious and can't cause the flu, or they contain just a small part of the flu virus that your immune system will recognize as the flu. And there is a nasal vaccine that contains a live virus, but that virus has been changed. So again, it cannot cause the flu. So I do want to dispel that myth that kind of makes its rounds every year.
And if you don't want to get the vaccine, are there other ways that you can protect themselves or learn to help more about the flu?
Well, the best way to protect yourself and your loved ones against the flu and its complications is to get a flu vaccine. But there are other things that you can do to help protect yourself, like making sure you cover your cough or when you sneeze, or wash your hands frequently, right? Or staying away from others when they're sick or when you're sick. So those are just some general precautions that you can take. But if you want to learn more about flu or how to prevent it, you and your viewers can go to cdc.gov/the flu. Sorry.
Dr. Leah Smith, thanks for joining me this morning, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
You know, every year Motor Trend sets the bar high by naming the best new cars, trucks, and SUVs. And today's a big one. It's the reveal of the 2025 SUV of the year. So we've got Ed Loh, Motor Trend's head of editorial, and a guy who knows the auto industry inside and out. He's here to give us the inside scoop on which SUV came out on top and what's driving this year's automotive trends. Welcome to the show, Ed. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we got to get to it. What is Motor Trend's 2025 SUV of the year?
So we're proud to announce that Motor Trend's 2025 SUV of the year is the Lincoln Nautilus.
Nice.
And you know, against our award 6 key criteria, it just absolutely nailed it. As you can see, just beautiful vehicle, handsome exterior, aviation inspired. But what's really going on is on the inside. Super luxurious 5-passenger luxury SUV that leads with technology. First and foremost, it's this 48-inch customizable panoramic screen up on the dashboard, goes all the way across. It's absolutely amazing. And it's got all the tech that you'd want. You got your Siri on board, you got Alexa, you got a Google Assistant, works with your Android phone, works with your Apple iPhone. It delivers, you know, all the amazing technology across those screens. And there's a tremendous safety and fuel economy story. So this thing has the highest safety ratings in the automotive industry. It's a TSP plus. It also has 31 miles per gallon as a hybrid, so great fuel economy. And all of this starting at a base price of just $52,000 for the Lincoln Nautilus, Motor Trend's 2025 SUV of the year.
And you've totally been in the industry for years, and I know you've seen a lot of vehicles come through. What stood out as most to you about this year's winner?
So what I really loved, and yeah, I've done a lot of vehicle testing, is, you know, there's a lot of screens in a lot of cars, and but not all of them are you know, super well thought out, or, you know, they don't really kind of have it all going on. In the case of the Lincoln Nautilus, though, the team really worked on delivering this really cohesive, comprehensive luxury experience. All the screens work really well together. Again, the iPhone pairing, you got the Blue Cruise adaptive cruise control system. Just phenomenal from a tech experience, but also fundamentally a very premium feeling, luxurious experience. These beautiful seats, Venetian red leather, comfortable in the front and in the back. It's like a spa on wheels. You know, you can get up to 28 speaker Ravel audio system and even aromatherapy, if you can believe it. This thing comes with 3 digital scents that make the car smell really good, and you have an option for 4 more. So if you want to make the car just smell like just as beautiful as it looks, you can have that as well in the Lincoln Nautilus.
All right, that's the sights and the smells for 2025.
Exactly.
All right, what do you think? What trends do you think buyers should be paying attention to when they're shopping for a brand new SUV when in 2025?
A lot of talk about EVs right now, whether sales are up or sales are down, and you got the hybrids coming back. Again, like this Lincoln Nautilus hybrid, but the one to pay attention to, it's a term called EREV, electric range extended vehicle. These are vehicles that are fundamentally electric cars, but they also have an onboard generator, like a gas engine on board that helps charge the battery. So you get the best of both worlds. You get all the smoothness, the quietness of an EV, but you get the additional range and convenience of a gas-powered vehicle. So look for EREV trucks and SUVs coming in 2025.
All right, so you got the car of the year and the truck of the year announcements coming up. Yeah, you could give us a little preview here, what we might expect from some of those.
Well, yeah, I can't tell you who's going to win, but I can
Dang it.
tell you that, of course, these are both very competitive programs. We're going to announce Car of the Year in November and then Truck of the Year in December. And I'll tell you, truck in particular had all the big names. We had the Tesla Cybertruck in the mix. We got the Ford Ranger, Toyota Tacoma, Ram 1500, Chevy Silverado EV. Americans, we love our pickup trucks. So look for the announcement in November for Motor Trend's Truck of the Year winner. And you can go to motortrend.com to find out more there about all of our of the year winners and our 2025 SUV of the year, Lincoln Nautilus.
Ed Loh, you got to come back and reveal those right here on the show, okay?
Love to.
All right, Ed Loh, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, as the holidays roll around, there's no better gift for a book lover than an e-reader. And with new tech, from color screens to faster speeds, it's easier than ever to find the perfect device. And today, we're joined by Kevin Keith, Vice President of Kindle at Amazon, who's here to tell us about the latest e-reader innovations and how to pick the best one for that bookworm in your life. All right, let's welcome to the show. Kevin, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Excited to be with you today.
Hey, I'm excited about these new e-readers this season. Is there any new cool tech that you guys updated that we should all know about?
Absolutely. We just launched our biggest lineup refresh for Kindle ever since we launched 17 years ago, which is hard to believe, including the first color Kindle. And so this is a device you're going to be able to see your book covers and all of your images now in full color. We also launched a new Kindle Scribe, which is our largest e-reader. And so this is a 10-inch device that you can read and write on. Pen comes with it. You can write directly in the book or in a separate notebook. So excited to bring these to customers.
All right, that's like a little digital notebook and book all at the same time. That's kind of cool. What about the new color screen? What makes that a huge game changer for readers?
Yeah, it's really great because instead of like a phone that has a front lit screen, this is going to have a little softer color. You can read in bed at night. You don't have to worry about blue light. All your color is now in the covers, highlights. If you're thinking about going to Europe this summer, like me, you can get into a travel guide and see everything in color, or comic books in color. So there's just so many more options now for Kindle customers.
And I hear you guys got a bunch of different models. Can you give us a quick rundown of some of the options you guys got?
Sure. Just starting on the kind of most compact and affordable. So we have a 6-inch device, weighs almost nothing. You can just throw it in the bag, take it on the go. That's our entry-level Kindle. The classic is the Kindle Paperwhite. That's now faster than ever. Customers are going to love that for a black and white reading experience. We have the Color Soft that brings color to Kindle for the first time, and then the Kindle Scribe for those that love to read and write in their books.
So when you're trying to pick a gift for somebody, what should people keep in mind to make sure it's like fits the style of that reader? What do you think?
Well, for those that are kind of the readers that love to write in their books, the scribe is going to be great for them. I love that, taking notes here at work. For those that really want to, experience color for their first time, they're going to love that Color Soft. And for kids, we have two different editions. We have a kids edition on the entry level and on Paperwhite, and that comes with a cover, a lot of books already included, and a 2-year guarantee. So for kids, screen time now becomes reading time, and that's a great gift for kids.
Kevin Keith, thanks for joining me this morning. Where can we go for more information and maybe pick up a brand new Kindle?
Amazon.com/Kindle. You can learn all about the devices we just talked about. You can buy them there. You can add them to your wish list. It's a great place for more information.
Kevin Keith, thanks for joining me this morning, my friend.
Great to be here.
For many veterans, finding the right place to settle down after service is one of the biggest steps towards a smooth transition back into civilian life. Navy, Federal, and Sperling's Best Places have just announced the 2024 Best Cities After Service list, with Sarasota, Florida leading the way. So here to tell us more about this year's top picks and some financial tips for veterans is Clay Stackhouse, finance expert and Marine Corps veteran. Clay, thanks for being here this morning, my friend.
Good morning, Dan. Thanks for having me. I'm all excited about this list and helping veterans.
All right. You say our neighbor, Sarasota, took top spot this year, but which other cities made the list and how are they even chosen?
Well, yeah, and it's important to know how they're chosen because we did actually 5 different lists. You're right. We partnered with Sperling's Best Cities. We looked at 400 cities across the country. And do you know, each person is going to transition individually and differently. After 25 years, I transitioned as a retiree. My son is in the Marine Corps now. He's going to probably get out after this enlistment, and it will have been his first job. So he'll be wanting to maybe start a business or buy a house. So you're right. Sarasota topped our list for overall. We have overall best. We have best for retirees. We have best to start a business, best to buy a house, and best towns for veterans. But as our best for retired veterans, number 3 is Tampa, Florida. Number 2 is Derry, New Hampshire. Number 1 again is Sarasota. But yeah, there's a lot of help for veterans there. A lot of military in the community. SOCOM. There's all sorts of things for veterans there, and we want people who are transitioning to focus on those things, right? Because they're not going to have the medical and dental that they did when they were in the military. So we want to help them through this time of transition.
What are some of the unique features that these top cities offer some of these veterans?
Right. Military in the community, hiring veterans, the propensity to do that. The economy is good in those areas. The access of veteran services in that area. But for somebody who may want to buy a house, Altoona, Pennsylvania, it turned out, was the top space. Or somebody who wanted to start a business. We went to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So each person's going to kind of want something different. That's why we did the 5 different lists, and you should go to NavyFederal.org/best cities to look.
So why does Navy Federal work on this report each year, and what makes it so important for veterans?
Yeah, so I found out, Dan, that this transition is harder than I thought it was going to be. I feel like I hung my uniform up in the closet and I left my identity there with it. I kind of snatched lightning with Navy Federal here, working for them and being able to help military veterans and families. But we want them to focus on a time that is proven to be very stressful for a lot of veterans who we've interviewed. That time of transition, that where you land is going to be very important because of, the facilities that are there, the crime stats, the housing, the medical facilities, and all those things. We want the veterans to know that we care about them and we're looking into these areas and want to help.
So what financial tips would you share with veterans transitioning into civilian life, especially when settling in a brand new city?
Yeah, so probably the most important question, right? And it's get the help that's out there. I don't think I did that. Lean on people like Navy Federal who do these lists and have free financial counseling. There's any number of nonprofits who will help you in these areas. Reach out to the military communities, to the VA to the different clubs. You have mentors, both senior and junior to you, that you can reach out. A place like Navy Federal wants to be a financial warm blanket around you as you make this transition, but reach out to all the things that offer help.
And finally, where can veterans go to explore like the full list and maybe even find more resources?
Right. So NavyFederal.org/best cities to look at all the lists, but we have podcasts, we have Making Sense. 888-842-6328 is a 24-hour line. If you're in the Tampa area, we have branches. Come see us. We'd love to serve you.
Thanks for joining me this morning, Clay Stackhouse.
Thank you, Dan.
Tyler Perry's latest drama, Beauty in Black, is already bringing some serious intrigue on Netflix. The show follows two women from very different walks of life as their worlds collide in unexpected ways. So today, I got Crystal Stewart, who plays Mallory, and Taylor Polidor-Williams, who stars as Kimmy, here to give us an inside look on the series. Welcome to the show, you two.
Hello. Hey, Dan. Thanks for having us.
All right, Beauty in Black brings together two very different characters on a collision course. Can you tell us about your characters and how their paths cross in this series?
You can start. Okay. Yeah. So, like you said, Dan, I play Kimmy. And when we find Kimmy, she is just trying to survive. She is a product of an abusive household, was kicked out as a young person, and she's found herself in this whirlwind, crazy world, working in a strip club, being trafficked. It's literally the worst of the worst happening. And Mallory is a huge source of inspiration to her. And the way that the worlds collide is something that you have to watch, because it's literally, it is the entire story, but it collides in the most menacing way, the most crazy way. Yeah.
Yes. And Mallory, I'm this businesswoman, owns this hair company, a super mogul, millionaire, and my public persona is like carefully crafted. Like, so I'm philanthropic, I have a perfect family, everything is great, I'm very friendly, I love my fans, but behind closed doors, I'm like this vindictive bee. I'm completely like, just mean, I guess you could say.
To say the least.
And vindictive. So she's inspiring to be like me, but she doesn't know how I am behind closed doors.
And now that the show is out, what do you think viewers can expect from part one of Beauty in Black? And what are you guys most excited for audiences to see?
I am so excited for people. They are going to be like, this is so insane. Next episode. Next episode.
Binge,
it's one of those things.
Yep,
yeah.
It's definitely binge worthy. It's sexy, it's edgy, it's dramatic, and it's so many characters I feel the audience will find someone that they can resonate with or just fall in love with.
It's gritty.
All right, don't miss Beauty in Black. It's now streaming on Netflix. Crystal Stewart, Taylor Polidor-Williams, thank you two for joining me this morning.
Thanks, Dan. You have a good one.
That's it for Rise Unwind. I want to thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. Follow us on YouTube, Rise Unwind TV. And until next week, that was Rise and Unwind.